Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, and welcome to the Amateur Otaku Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Isak Wolff, and joining me today is the speedster himself, Brandon Alvarado. How's it going, buddy?
What is up, man? What is up, up, up?
Well, uh, I figured that this was a no-brainer for us to pick, considering, well, even though I don't know, have you played League of Legends?
No, no, I've never been a MOBA guy. I mean, I know MOBA is one of the more popular multiplayer games out there. Like, I have
Yeah,
friends that play Smite. I played Vainglory for a while, but I've never played Dota or I've never played League of Legends.
yeah. The closest thing I was trying a bit on Pokemon Legends. And wait, I do think I tried League of Legends one night with a friend at a friend's house, but it never stuck with me. But anyway, either way, what I'm trying to say with this is going to be a review for people that went in blind, so to speak, knowing knowing nothing of the lore. But considering Castlevania got such a ended up being such a good series, and it got such a phenomenal critical acclaim and viewer acclaim across the board. We figured, why not check it out ourselves? And boy, do we have some thoughts of it, don't we?
Yeah. Yes, we do. And the name of the show is Arcane League of Legends. So what a roller coaster of a show. I mean, I did not expect this show to be as, I gotta say it, as amazing, breathtaking as it is. I mean, there's so much amazing stuff. I have no issues with this show. Like, it's crazy. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
it's not that long. It's 9 episodes. I don't know if this is 9 episodes for season one or if we've seen what this series is going to be. Like, there's not going to be any
there
more.
is a second season. Its second season is greenlighted.
Nice, nice, much deserved. But yeah, Arcane League of Legends. It's unlike anything I've ever seen in terms of it achieves so much, and I don't know, man. I think we're gonna try and keep this as spoiler free as we can. I think. Um, I think the people that mostly enjoyed this were people that played the game, but this show feel like its own thing. It feels like it doesn't depend on any knowledge from the viewer. It really just takes you into the world and takes you on a ride. And the characters are so rich and deep. Like, they're so great. There's so much good stuff. And the voice acting is phenomenal. And, like, I don't know, man. I'm over the moon with the show. Like, and I would even try League of Legends now. But it's similar to, because let's be honest. Let's be honest. We know what League of Legends is. It's a MOBA, so it's a multiplayer online game, and it's mostly like, it's not like a role playing game where you play the story. All you play are these battles with teammates and against other players, right? It's similar to Fortnite in that
Yeah,
sense, where the lore exists outside of the game. Does that make sense? Like, the lore is not built into the
yeah.
gameplay. The lore exists outside the game. And most of the time, the people that know about the lore of this are people that actually take the time to either write fan fiction, or they take the time to read books, or they like to carve up anything that's available from the developers that they can read and enjoy. But the fact that we got such a cohesive, powerful, and emotional story that expands multiple characters within this world, because if I'm not mistaken, all, if not most, of the main characters in the show are playable characters in the game. So they all like
Yeah, yeah.
not just
From what
not just
I
to,
under from my understanding, they are.
and and the fact that they all feel like real people, like real characters that have a story, that have needs, that have wants. Like I think what most impressed me of this is that I didn't need to know what League of Legends was to fall in love with this show. And I think that's this show's strongest point, and it tells you how good it is. Like anybody can watch this show and be like, "Shit, this is awesome." I would even say this is top tier Castlevania level video game adaptation. And you know that to me that's a high bar.
Yeah, that's certainly a high bar. And I don't know about you, but the closest thing that you can compare this animation to is Into the Spider-Verse, or even if that, considering how, what's the word for it? Distinct it was?
Yes, because it's not the same. In terms of the instead of how stylish it is, you mean? Yeah, the animation is breathtaking. Like and it's funny because it's one of those shows that you kind of got to get used to the animation because you have never seen anything like it because it's a mixture of painting, digital artistry, but then it has like this for all the environmental stuff. It has like these playful quips that feel otherworldly, but they fit in with the world. Like whenever you see like a scrub of dust come out of a nail, whenever you see the river flowing, it has like this slow mo effect. Like it's supposed to feel like it's standing still, but it is flowing at the same time. Does that make sense? Like
Yeah.
it plays
Guess
with
how
your
long
eyes.
it took.
What was
Guess how
that?
long it took for them to make this. Guess how long it took for them to make the series.
How long?
Yes,
How I don't know. How long?
6 year.
I'm not surprised because the level of care.
Although there has said that 2023 is when the second season is arriving. I mean, they have the baseline of the animation done
Yeah, they
already.
have.
So,
Yeah.
so
Well, you got to think about it. The 6 years is not just it's not just the animation. You got to think also of the time that it take took the time that it took to break the story and develop the characters, because that's the one thing. Like this is not a world in development. This is a world that already exists. Like you jump into this place and this is already a living, breathing world, and it doesn't feel like they're trying to figure out. You know what I mean? Like you know how sometimes you watch a show and it looks like everything you've seen before because the characters are not
yeah,
interesting or the colors are bland. No, like even the color palettes of the show, the differences between Piltover and the differences between the underground and the further underground, like all the colors are very distinct. I mean, you can tell that it took 6 years and they didn't waste any time. Like they took their time and it and they I knew they set out to do the most amazing version of Arcane, I think. Of and I think it was they achieved it. Like there's like I like I can understand why people are going crazy about the show now. And I love the fact that I was able to enjoy it. And like I said, I think the biggest point is that they made it out to make this their own thing. Like you don't have to know League of Legends to love this show. But if you love League of Legends, your mind's probably going to be blown. Like I think the only reason why League of Legends fans would be upset with this show, in my mind, is if they didn't see their favorite character. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But maybe they're leaving
But
characters
considering
left
this
out
is a
for other seasons.
prequel,
And yeah,
considering
like this
this
is a
is supposed to
prequel.
be a prequel,
Yeah, it's supposed to be prequel to the events of the game, or when the game takes place, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
maybe they are
I did
showing
read
the
that.
other
Yeah,
favorite
yeah,
character then.
yeah. And
And
go ahead.
go on. Sorry,
No, no, go ahead.
I was just thinking. It also just going back to our Cowboy Bebop episode. No spoilers about that episode we did, but it goes to show about how you should approach, in my book at least, an adaptation to some extent, judging by the reception and all that jazz, and also going through the reception of Castlevania. Also,
Yeah,
I mean, there, outside of it being animated, it clearly has some stark contrast to one another. You
yeah,
get what I mean?
yeah, yeah. Because they decided not to literally adapt a story, but they adapted the essence of what the story is. You know what I mean? And I've always been a big. I don't know if I explain myself whenever I talk about this, but a lot of times when I do comparisons and analysis on characters or adaptations, I always talk about not losing the essence of a character whenever you're doing an adaptation or a version of them, right? Like that's one of those things that I hated about Joss Whedon's Justice League, because whenever I saw Ezra Miller playing his version of Barry Allen, the way he talked, the way he acted, it wasn't Barry. You know what I mean? None of it expressed the qualities that distinct Barry Allen from the comics. And Barry Allen has been written about. Like there's 30 plus years of comic books showing you who Barry Allen is, and I didn't see a glimpse of him on screen. I saw more of Barry in Zack Snyder's Justice League than I did in Joss Whedon. And it's similar footage, but it's directed differently, right? So it's like
Yeah.
that's the kind of thing. As long as you don't lose the essence of the characters, which is why we were very mixed and hurt when we talked about Cowboy Bebop, because they got the essence of the characters right, but then again, they failed in the execution of the
No
story.
spoilers for that episode, but
No, 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 I'm not spoiling anything. But here, you can tell that everything was there. They knew who their characters were. They knew what made these characters strong and how emotional the stories need to be. Um, and they just focus on telling a story. Like storytelling, you can tell is their main goal. And I like how, as the story develops, characters that appear to be in the sidelines have greater roles as the story goes on. Um, I mean, the show's great. The show is just so great. And you know about the animation, the one thing that I was thinking about on and on, I know where your idea of Into the Spider Verse comes from. It's similar to like when you play Persona 5, like it's one of the most stylized games you'll ever watch, right? Like
yeah,
whenever we played Persona 5, there was nothing else like it. And I think there still isn't. As with so much personality and and coolness, right? But the one thing that stood out to me in Arcane, which I wouldn't be surprised if the style was a direct inspiration, because that's how I felt. Every time I saw Arcane, I felt that I was looking at Magic the Gathering cards.
isn't isn't Netflix doing a Magic the Gathering series also?
They are, but I don't think Riot has anything to do with it.
Yeah,
I don't know who
obvious.
the studio
It was
is.
just a side quest.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
Wizard of the Coast, but I was just thinking of it when you mentioned Magic cards.
yeah. Because I could every time that you would see a character standing, or you see a glimpse of the city, it reminded me of the artistry of Magic the Gathering cards. Like every card is a painting. You know what I mean? And it
Yeah,
stands out and it like sucks you in. And That's how I felt watching this. Um, and not to say that, and this is coming from someone that has never seen anything League of Legends related. So I don't know if all the character drawings and sprites already look like this, which I wouldn't be surprised if they do. But then again, with how long and and how old Magic the Gathering is, I wouldn't be surprised if it was an inspiration because similar to Magic the Gathering, I think. Let me see. I'm gonna check something real quick. Yeah, Riot Games is an American developer, so Magic the Gathering is based on the United States too, by west of the coast. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's some inspiration there, because of course, because you think about it, MOBA games are pretty much the equivalent of Magic the Gathering to a degree. They kind of have the same.
Yeah.
They kind of have the same. I don't know, like gameplay mechanics to a degree. You're constantly upgrading characters, able to summon new skills. You do it on the spot as you acquire power or mana, and you have that ability. Um, but yeah, man, like all the relationships. I mean, this show's great. Now, of course, I think you remember when I think it was Mike Thomas, uh, one of our co-hosts. He was talking about how Haley Stayfield is dominating December and November,
Yeah.
and like
And well,
and they're not wrong. I didn't know she was playing Vi, but what an awesome interpretation.
I mean, she is every cast member is great in this role, but yeah, Haley Steinfeld is
Yeah,
rocking this month of November.
yeah,
So
man. This whole this whole this whole cast is phenomenal. It's just so awesome. You even have Spider Man.
it's also
Spider Man's in the show.
are you talking about Yuri Lowenthal?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
plays
he's
Milo.
has a he
Yeah,
has more he has a couple of roles in this game
yeah,
actually. Game, ugh, yeah, brain freeze in this show actually. So
yeah. Such awesome.
which
This show is really good.
but I mean, one thing I think this show is uh, working. We talked about it. We talked about it before. It is just a prime example of how characters carry, no pun intended, carry a show, so to speak,
Mm-hmm.
or a story or movie. I mean, this story would have been excellent. Would have been great otherwise in my book, but similar to how Fena Pirate Princess, what makes this so special is the characters, similar to Fena Pirate Princess, that we
Yeah,
also did a episode on with Yukimura himself. Hint, hint. You can go and watch it out. But it also makes me go back in also another. I don't know if you sort of like. I don't know if you know that, but Netflix was a part of had a deal with Nintendo to make a claymation version of Star Fox in a live action Legend of Zelda. And honestly, I would love to see them make amends with Netflix and trying something again, but having them do animated. Because let's face it, to some extent, while their Marvel shows are great, don't get me wrong, the ones that are always knocked out of the park, they're pretty much flawless on, are there animated shows right now? animation is where they truly shines. Uh, Son of Zeus, Castlevania, now this, and seeing them doing something with Zelda, Zelda, Star Fox, or heck, Fire Emblem, so to speak, it could be very interesting to see them to make something with Nintendo, if you get what I mean.
It would be very interesting. It would be. I don't disagree with you. I mean, Netflix has become this hub of phenomenal animation of all types, right? Like Netflix understands that animation is now it's a legitimate storytelling venue. Because if they didn't, they wouldn't have so much anime. They would have made it a point to be one of the biggest distributors to now have JoJo season 5, which, in my understanding, if JoJo season 5 is on Netflix, it means it's not on anything else. And that's a big thing. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much a big
Funimation
deal.
has a big competition finally.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it has to do with the fact that I think who was it? Well, no, that was Sony that bought it. But Sony bought Crunchyroll. Um, but yeah, I agree with you.
And I
Like
hate
I
the
want to
fact that
see
Sony bought Crunchyroll, but that's besides the point.
yeah. I do want to see Netflix keep doing stuff like this. I mean, Netflix was the one that brought He-Man back. Not that I've seen it, but a lot of fans now that the series has ended, a lot of fans have enjoyed He-Man, which was brought back by
Yeah,
Kevin Smith, Masters of the Universe. Um, but they're bringing a lot of stuff back and putting a lot of stuff out there that's great, and they're signing off on projects that have been phenomenal. And Arcane is just it's just one of the best things I've seen in a long time. And I like the fact that his IP that I had no relationship with. And that's what I love. I think that's what I love the most. It's not something that I've seen before. It's not something that I knew. It's something that I was able to discover as I watched it. And I just want to watch more. And the way it ended, no spoilers, the way it ended was just so perfect.
what about if we are taking a spoiler section? Because you clearly want to talk about it.
Not really. I mean, I don't have to spoil it. Um,
Okay,
but
that
But yeah, I mean, we can do a spoiler section. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I have anything else to say
I don't
because all I
need
have.
one either. But knowing you, I felt that you might want one.
No, I mean, what we can do is if people like, I'm gonna leave it to you guys out there. If you guys want us to do a spoiler review of Arcane League of Legends, let us know on the comments, and we can probably do something. Because personally, I'm not gonna lie, I would like to play some League of Legends before I do a spoiler review, because I want to try and get in the world now and become a bit more involved. You know what I mean? Because I
Yeah,
think that would be very interesting to see how that brings up the conversation. Um, and how that influences the conversation. I haven't played the game, but I'm not gonna lie to you. Now I have. I don't know what studio is working on Magic the Gathering, but I think that Arcane has set a standard now, and I think that's the biggest thing. Like Castlevania has set up a standard had set up a standard before, but I think Arcane now is taking that torch because I gotta say that
yeah.
this is like the best video game adaptation I have ever seen. Like no movie comes even close.
Oh, oh, that's a high bar.
Yeah, no movie has come even close, and Castlevania, I think is just if Castlevania was a throne, right? With Arcane, now video game adaptations have a round table but they only have two seats, Castlevania and Arcane, because
Yeah.
it is just that good. Guys,
Let's
if
hope
you've
that
never seen,
Castlevania is good also.
yeah, it's phenomenal. If so I think I mean I think we're going in circles because it's so good. but I'll make this simple for everybody, guys. If you don't know what League of Legends is, but you want to watch some emotional and phenomenal storytelling on a, I could say, cyberpunk world, as is the world of Arcane League of Legends, you gotta watch this show. It's one of the best
Yeah,
shows on TV right now. It is a very dense show. Like every episode is 45 to 50 minutes. And it's 9 episodes, so you can watch it in a day or you can watch it in 2 days. But it is one of the best shows you'll ever see. And yes, it's not necessarily anime, but it's gorgeous animation made in the US. And it does deserve your support because it is that awesome. Who knows? Maybe like me, you'll start playing League of Legends. But it's a great show and you should check it out.
yeah. But where can everyone find you?
Well, you can find me at Scarlet Fan 52 on Twitter and at the Scarlet Fan 52 on Instagram. And you can find the pod at Amateur Otaku Pod on Twitter. And if you love what we're doing on the Amateur Otaku Podcast, make sure you check out our YouTube channel, subscribe, and click on the like button, and click on the bell for notifications so you don't miss any episodes. And if you want to hear us in podcast format, make sure you check us out on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Radio Public, Stitcher, wherever podcasts are found. You'll find the Amateur Otaku Podcast. I know this was a short one, but we're just head over heels about Arcane. Everything of it is beautiful, and we can't wait to see more.
Yeah, and well, you can find me over at Emblemaniac on Twitter, and you can find my work over at Wobem Entertainment, and you can find our co-host at wait, Leah has a different handle now since that. Leah underscore Rydell over who has an awesome YouTube channel known as Geekly Goods, and you can find our other co-host Michael Thummans or at Novi Semifile, where he also writes for Wobem Entertainment and Collider on top of his own YouTube uh, sh- channel and site called Novi Cinephile. And next, we are continuously covering My Hero and My Hero Vigilantes. And
Yes,
we might start with Demon Slayer season 2, aren't we?
yes, yes, and yes. We haven't forgotten JoJo, season 3, part 3 of JoJo,
Yeah,
Stardust Crusaders. It's coming soon. We
yeah.
promise. I promise.
I have already watched it through, so it's not my. We're just waiting for him.
See, that's kind of mean, though true. Oh, before we wrap up, I think it's safe to say, which one was your favorite character?
Uh, why?
Just curious.
You?
You want me to start?
Yeah, I said
Well,
why.
oh, Vi. Oh, I'm sorry, Vi, like the
Uh,
main character, Vi.
yeah.
It sounded like you said it with a Y, so I thought you were asking why I was asking.
No, 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 no.
Okay,
Sorry for that misunderstanding.
no, you're good. So Vi, yeah, Vi is one of my favorite characters. It is, but I love Caitlyn. I like that character. I like because to me, Caitlyn was the biggest surprise. She was such a small character in the first 3 episodes, and then got such a bigger role. And I like detectives, and I like how at least the role that she was given, up to the point that you know, um, her role, like in the middle chunk of the show, I liked her role, and I liked it a lot. I mean, all the
So
characters
what
are
you're
great.
saying is that. So what you're saying is that we need to cover Moriarty the Patriot as well, considering you're a detective guy.
Yes, 100%. So,
So,
ladies, I think this is it, man. Have it awesome, guys.
yeah. Have a awesome, guys. Peace.
Peace.